Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Gooners podcast. This is a late discussion about the Champions League game. I mean, we were supposed to record it a little bit earlier, but it was also intentional that we wanted to take some time because after so much time, we are doing a Champions League review and, actually playing a Champions League quarterfinals. So, took some time to reevaluate what our thoughts were. So here we are. Today I've got the usual gang. Hi Arun, hi Deepak.
Hello.
Yeah, as usual, before we start, please do, like, share, subscribe, and comment in. Your support has been awesome. We have been very grateful for everything that's been happening to us. So we'll start this with, I'll start this with a question to both of you, right? Like, Champions League quarterfinals is a great place to be. There's no denying it, and it's a good result, according to me at least. Like 2-2 is a good result, and it takes it to a knockoff kind of place. But the other side of it, I'm thinking is like, are we a little bit early in this stage of this competition in where Arsenal as a club are?
No, I don't think so. What is like early means? A
Like,
lot of teams have like gone right. Spurs have reached the final and stuff. So nothing is like there is nothing to be early or something. If you are
No, but
deserved enough to qualify, yeah, you are good enough to be there. That's it. Doesn't mean it's early or you're in the later stage of your development or anything. It doesn't guarantee, right? If you are developed enough, you are good to be at this stage of Champions League and facing big teams, which is what we learned. Even though Bayern Munich hasn't been playing great, they have that pedigree, and we had did mistakes, and they have that enough individual quality in them to take those chances.
see, that's the thing, that why I was coming to that question, right? Like, I started with that question for that reason, because
okay. Let me ask you then. If you feel that we are here too early, then what was your expectations of us being in this Champions League at this stage of our progress?
I'm here to ask questions, Arun. I'm not here to answer.
No, but like I'm just asking you the same question, because like there has to be a reasoning, right? Like if you feel that we might be early here at this stage of the competition,
the reasoning
then when do we get into the competition? Like when are we supposed to be in the semifinals or the finals?
So the reasoning behind the question in the first place is, right, that before the game started, yes, we are flying high, Bayern are not flying that great, and all that thing. But we went in with a certain, I think not all of us, but a lot of the Arsenal fan base, or Arsenal, around Arsenal, apart from the team, of course, went in with this idea that we are going to blow Bayern Munich away, especially
I
in
don't blame
Emirates.
them, right? Like it's because how the way we have been performing and how Bayern has been playing in Bundesliga, it was bound to happen, that expectation that we would win 3-1 or 4-1 or anything.
No, that's why the question came about, right? Like, because what I thought was that we played two teams with Champions League pedigree, right? Like, Porto are not doing great, Bayern are not doing great in their leagues, but they have the Champions League pedigree, which is built, like you said. Yes, Spurs went to the finals, but where are they right now, right? Like, they're making progress and stuff, but they are not in this Champions League tournament. They are not anywhere. The same way, like Ajax had a great tournament once, but they don't have that pedigree in the Champions League anymore, right? Like, but there
Yeah,
are teams like
it's the same
Bayern there.
for us, right? We
Yeah.
don't have a pedigree. We have zero pedigree in Champions League. It's just that we get out of the group stage and go out in round of 16. It's good that we have qualified to quarterfinals, and that's where you build your pedigree. We should be a team who, like, even though we don't win, right, we should be a team who should challenge in these coming years to Champions League as well. That's the stage we should aspire for. And I think this is a good start. We are playing a team which we have that history against, like who batters us every time we play in Champions League, and we fought well. 2-2 is not the score everyone expected, but it's a decent score, and we have a good chance and going there and winning in Alliance Arena. I think we are the only team who has beaten them in the last 10 years, the 2-0 which we won in Alliance Arena. So yeah, we still have a chance.
And that team was not even a great team, that's the thing.
Yeah, okay.
But but thinking about it this way, Vijay, people did have expectations, and those expectations are not wrong based on how well we played. But people who have been watching the Champions League for long and have been not, we were last in the Champions League when 2014-15 or something like that.
Yep.
And then we know the quality of football that is being played in the Champions League. It's not all about going out and getting the first advantage or anything like that. You need to know how to play without the ball, with the ball and all that. So we knew that this game was not going to be easy at all. So if you had expectations, it's based on what you have seen of Arsenal this season and all the Champions League that you have not seen over the last decade. That's how I would put it. So we have earned our place here. So nobody can say that we are not worth playing in the Champions League, or are we early in this situation? No, nothing of that sort. Had it been last year, it would have been not even last year, the year before, it would have been very different. When we tried to get to the fourth and we couldn't finish fourth and we finished fifth. At that point, had we gotten into the Champions League, we would have been battered by every single team playing in there. So here, this team needs to go through all of this. People ask me, what would you prefer, the league or the Champions League? I want the team to go as far as possible in both the competition. That's how you build the experience. You build experience by playing at the Allianz Arena away. If you win that, if you're going to be playing Madrid away, that's going to be an experience. If you don't gain this experience, there's no way that you're going to be playing well in the Champions League. And if we decide to forfeit or not play a good team in the second leg against Allianz Arena, against Bayern and at the Allianz, thinking that, the way in which we played the first leg means that we do not have a chance in the second leg, that sends a really, really negative message to the players. They would not have the same trust on Arteta anymore, because we've been talking about being competitive in all the competitions that we are playing. So nothing of that sort from me. We are where we are at the right stage, at the right time. My expectations were knockouts. We were able to get out of the knockouts and get into the quarterfinals. Whatever happens beyond is whatever happens on that particular day. That's how cup competitions are. There are a lot of people who are already saying that this season is a failure because of the 2-2 draw. Now, we have come to a stage where a draw feels like a loss, and that's progress, and that's where we have to be. It's just because we drew the game doesn't mean that we're out of the Champions League. And if Champions League trophies were awarded for winning quarterfinals, we would be having quite a few Champions League trophies by now. So be patient, wait, let's see where we go.
Okay. So I have okay, let me reel back to the day of the game, right? We had a starting line put up, which had Kivior, Martinelli in the team. They did not play the last game, and they are coming back. And Martinelli has not played a lot in the last couple of games. And I felt our left side, as the game progressed, was the weak point. So I'm talking from a bit of a retrospective point of view right there, right? Deepak, I'll start with you. Was that the best starting lineup we wanted to put out? I mean, I had no complaints when I saw the starting lineup, but was that the best starting lineup we can put up against this team in this stage in competition?
Probably yes, given the way this specific 11 has been performing, right? Kivior was just rested for that game against, who was it? I forgot. Brighton, yeah. And he has been performing well, but he got skinned by Sane. That's the quality you're gonna face in Champions League, obviously. And Martinelli, I think I saw a meme where we were saying we are saving Martinelli for Bayern and we are not starting him. But that left side was completely nullified and they tore apart on the left side. Yeah, but think we spoke in the pod, right? I expected Jesus to start. He has the Champions League pedigree. He has been our best performer in Champions League this season as well, even though he had his injuries and stuff. I think he's the highest scorer around the. So yeah, I expected Jesus to start in place of Martinelli. But yeah, I don't have complaints with this lineup. Martinelli has been our first choice, right, on the left side. And we have been trying to find who is going to be that left back. We have been figuring out this entire season. Glad that everyone has stepped at like different stages of the season. But yeah, in that particular game, yeah, probably Tommy might have made more sense given that Sane, even though he's not in form, he has that individual quality which we saw in that specific game. He like took apart almost from midfield to like the defense and stuff. So yeah, maybe in the second leg, Tommy might start. Like because Kivior, Zinchenko, that change also didn't make any difference. Like even after the second half.
But that's where like I have the question around, right? Like we have, if you count the left backs we have in the team, right? We have, let's say, Tomiyasu could play left back. Kivior could play left back now. Zinchenko could play in left back. And then if Timber comes back, Timber plays left back. And then we still have, in our books anyways, Tierney as left back. But we still don't know who's our first choice left back. Or do you know who our first choice left back is? Do you think this person has gotten?
Is Arun muted?
Okay, I think that question dropped the connection from Arun, but I'll ask the same question to you, Deepak, right? Like, who is our first choice left back? Or like, because I don't think I can justify myself that if we went into the market next window and be like, we have to shop for a left back. I know it sounds like, okay, yeah, that if that's what we want to do, we have to do. But it also feels like we have so many players in that position. Why is it so difficult? And I have no complaints against it.
Yeah.
Like I'm not complaining like Kivior is bad or Zinchenko is bad or like, no. They're all good in their own respective way, but we don't know who is our left back. And it might not be a bad thing.
Maybe it's because they are not good enough, right? Like to that elite level of left back. There is not many in like even in the world right now. I think even in this game, right, or like let's take 10 or 15 games back, when Zinchenko plays as left back, right, he used to come into midfield. That is not happening anymore, if you notice. It's White who's almost playing as that inverted thing. So we have switched it. So if that's the case, we could have probably kept Tierney in the team.
Exactly. That's what my thoughts are.
Yeah, but the flip side is Tierney is injured. He's injured in Sociedad as well. So that is one question which has been like we couldn't like find. Yeah, I think for Arteta, he still thinks Zinchenko as the first choice probably, given that Timber is injured. Maybe Timber was signed for that, like to probably invert and play better. And yeah, I think maybe he has a better passing range, which we don't know. So yeah, it's a problem question for us. I don't know who is going to start in in the second leg as well. I want probably Tommy to start because we know like how he nullified it's just one game against Salah. So probably he might do that against Sane as well because they targeted that side specifically in that first leg and they got joy out of it. And you know how good Kane is. He's probably the best center forward in bringing those wingers into play. So yeah, that is a position which we might need to strengthen in the upcoming market. And Kivior wasn't signed as a left back; he was signed as a backup for Gabriel. We are just trying to fill that position because none of them who has played there has been good enough or has been injury prone.
Okay, I mean, the game kind of, for me, if I get back to the game, like we did talk about the starting lineup, but if we get back to the game, I think there are two pain points. Yes, the left back position is one of it, but I also felt our midfield, like apart from Odegaard doing what Odegaard does always, I thought the midfield was overrun a little bit.
For sure. Yeah.
And
I think like Rice had a poor game, even though people say he did better. But for me, Rice had a poor game.
I didn't I didn't want to say that, because this whole episode I think I've been too negative. So I just wanted to make sure that it's not what do you call it? I don't want to put that words out there.
Yeah. For me, like the first goal, right? It was a mistake of like not just Gabriel and Raya. It was a mistake from Rice as well. He just, if you see that replay, right? He just let who is that Goretzka to run
Goretzka.
past him.
Yeah.
It was so easy to see that. Maybe he didn't notice it. Like he just ran past him. He could have just turned around and he was trying to win the ball, which is what we are supposed to do given that it's our home. But that pass from Sane was really good, like a line breaking pass, which took Rice out of the game. And Goretzka made a great run. And similarly, Ganarbri also made a great run. So, yeah, probably, maybe it's because of Jorginho didn't have a great game. Rice had to cover a lot. So, probably that also affected his gameplay.
Arun, we were talking.
I know, yeah, I came late, but for me, blaming Rice for that goal is like he should probably be the last person that should be blamed, in my opinion. That's what I feel. Yeah, we did. For me, I don't want to blame, but like it's first on Raya, then on Gabriel, then on Kivior, and then on Rice, I would say.
Yeah,
that's
Gabriel
my...
had like almost like 5 minutes to clear the ball.
Yeah. Because like the thing is, like, you wouldn't expect Raya to come that far, number one, when it was clear that Gabriel had it. And when Gabriel had the ball, our style of play is recycling possession by passing it back to Raya, and then we build our attack from there. Gabriel should have hoofed the ball. He did not hoof it. He took the second option, which is passing the ball to the nearest player. Kivior, for me, should have been a little more attentive, knowing that he was the closest player to Gabriel. He was just standing there and stretching his leg instead of moving a bit. And in amidst all this, they found their way through. Yeah, at that point, Rice probably could have come in. For me, I think I missed the question where we were talking about the starting lineup. Yeah, I agree with Deepak. Jesus should have started. Probably Zinchenko should have started too. But the problem was neither of them are fit enough. That's a big problem that we have. So we started with who we have.
We will get back to Jesus' fitness in a bit, because I think there is more things to unpack there, because he also had a recent interview where he mentioned he might not be fit for the what's that competition called, the South American Euros,
Copa America.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a conversation that we will have in a bit. But before that, though, right, like we were talking about the midfield, and I felt that like the left back position, like I know Rice has been great, phenomenal this season, right? Like no one is questioning his price tag. He has transformed this team, and yada yada yada. We have always heaped praise. Arun, but is Rice underutilized in number 8? Should he be playing number 6 more?
I think that was the plan. I think the plan was like, because in games like this, where we knew it was going to happen in transition, Rice is probably our best option to stop transitions. So in here, yeah, I would say in this game, he was probably not played properly. I mean, like if Partey was there, then it would have been a different scenario with Rice playing 8. But with Jorginho, it sort of became like he had to do double work, and that didn't work properly. That's what I would say. So underutilizing, it's like even the players that we are looking at in the market right now are not pure 6 or pure 8. We're looking at hybrids, and that's how we are trying to play. So this, I would say, this is first season. It's probably a part of the learning process for him to see how he can be effective at both the 6 position and the 8 position. Is he a ready-made 6 yet? No. Because like we've seen the difference between him and Partey in terms of the passes that they play, and that's the kind of output that we want from the number 6 who plays for us. So he's not there as a pure 6 yet. I wouldn't blame him. He's always played on a double pivot at West Ham. So it's a learning process. So it would depend on the game. I would also say it's also like because of the fact that we do not have a good LCM who can take care of their things on that side if Rice were to play as a six. Like if we had, say, Smithrow, for example, being up to speed and being able to play every single game 90 minutes in and out, and he had developed his game from the start of the season, or like Vieira, whom we have be playing as an LCM, then we wouldn't be talking about this. It would have given like Rice probably more time to learn the number six role and play better. But then like we are at a situation where we need to sort of put out the best team, and in that best team to minimize our deficiencies. I feel that right now Rice playing eight is working. Whether like there would be one or two games that wouldn't work, but then like we cannot look at that when it works for 8 or 9 games. So it is a part of the learning process. Probably when we get someone next season, it would help Rice more. Maybe if Smithrow is able to play more regularly as the ball carrier that we want him to be, our left side would look better. There'll be more action coming from that side, and maybe Rice could probably transition into the six that we want him to be.
Okay. But getting back to the game, right? Like 2 goals. I mean, 2 goals from them, both felt like completely in transition, right? Like both were not like, I did not feel that it was, or I should say it this way. I felt that it was against the gameplay at those points. Like when the goals went in, I felt it was against what was happening in the pitch.
Yeah.
So yeah, like Deepak, you already talked about that goal where the mistake from Raya, and for me it is Raya, Gabriel, and Kivior that made the mistake. But yeah, the mistake and that cost the goal. And the second goal, I mean, how is this always happening to us? Nabri comes back, he gets a goal, he celebrates in front of an entire stadium filled with Arsenal fans. I mean, there were some Bayern fans somehow, but it's not supposed to be. They are not supposed to be in the stadium. He comes back and he celebrates a goal in a stadium full of Arsenal fans in Arsenal. And then the big
Kane
villain.
is inevitable. Yeah, that is inevitable. He will score against Arsenal. It's not going to happen, right?
But I think
So, yeah.
I think that we praised Raya for the penalty save, the penalty shootout save. But I think this Kane goal, I don't
Yeah.
say that he should have saved it, but I think like he completely missed it. He went like there's no way, like when Kane stood up and like the shot went in, there was no way that is being stopped.
The penalty is just a jeopardy, right? It's not like every 100% that keeper is going to save every time. It's not going to happen. It's probably 10% chance he saves out of like 10 penalties. So yeah, I don't know. I won't blame Raya for that. And Kane is like, he's a very good penalty taker, and he hasn't missed a lot in his entire career. So yeah, and that goal completely came from Sane's brilliance, nothing else. He just took off from this left side and went into the box. That's what like people like. That's what you are going to face in Champions League. That high level individual quality. Not every week you face like Brighton or someone like that who keeps the ball and stuff. They run at you every single time. Champions League is more of a transitional gameplay, right? If you go score a goal, they are going to come back right at you. It's not like they're going to sit back, take some time and think. This is what if you somehow win in Allianz Arena, if you're going to face Real Madrid, this is what is exactly going to happen again. So you should be prepared for that. But yeah, it's because of that individual quality, and I won't blame Saliba. He had to tackle there. Otherwise, it would have been a goal. So he mistimed it, and it's a penalty. And yeah, it happened at a time we were dominating. We were trying to score the second goal and stuff. And it's bound to happen. I don't know. Can't blame everyone. Every mistake we can't blame. They will learn from it, like Arun said.
Regarding the goal though, right? Like, I mean, the first goal, Saka getting onto the act, getting that goal and celebrating. I mean, we know that Saka is the reliable player for us to, like, if there was something to be created, I don't like, this kid has done it in every stage right now, right? Like we keep talking about like we have We have talked about everyone else this season a lot because yes, everyone else has stepped up. But Saka is one person, even though he is talked a lot, I also feel that he's not talked a lot by the Arsenal fans at this moment. This is like, how do I put it? Like, he is
Probably,
our,
yes, we have reached that stage where we expect a performance out of him in every
More,
single
yeah,
game. It's
yeah,
just
yeah,
like he has to go to the next level. That's all he
yeah,
has to
yeah,
do right
yeah.
now. He has reached that stage where everyone knows he's a great player. Probably the next step for him would be to go to that world class level like Salah or someone, which obviously he's going to go. He's just 23 or 22.
yeah.
We know, like, yeah, he has so much time on his side. He is going to get better. He learns a lot. We have seen that how he has come through this couple of seasons, right? And he
Mhm.
started Champions League. His first season is the second highest, like in goals involved and stuff, 8 or 9 goals. So yeah, he's going to better. I think we don't need to talk about Saka. Everyone knows he's the star boy and he's good.
Yes. Because I wanted to talk about Saka, because I think like right now is the time I want to also talk about the penalty incident at the end, right? Like I know we are skipping past
Like, can
ahead
I
of
add just one more thing to that Saka thing?
yeah, definitely.
Like,
I
Saka
was getting
is,
you.
Saka is playing at the Saka level right now. I want him, like, the only difference that I see between Saka and Foden, like, of course, it's not right to compare both. They both are totally different players in different positions. But Foden has that uh, doing it regularly in the Champions League experience. Like, I want Saka to be in the same bracket as players like Foden or Vinicius. Like, Saka has that edge over both of them in internationals, but I want Saka to be able to do it more regularly. Like, one goal, amazing. The way in which he played in the game, amazing. But the decision making at certain situations, and then like stepping it up and being consistent at stepping it up. He's been doing that in the Premier League for 2-3 seasons now, and we know his worth. I want him to be able to do that at the Champions League at the highest level, and if he's playing at the Euros at the highest level in the same season. That's what I want. One more season in the Champions League, similar performance. I don't think anyone is going to doubt him anymore. That's what I want. I want him to go and establish himself as the premier guy in the Champions League. And you're able to do that, like, you'll be put in the same bracket as Vinicius. Like, if you see the Madrid game, they just pass the ball to Vinny, and then they they wait for him to do something. We do not play the same way, but I want Saka to take that role. Yeah, I am that guy. Give the ball to me, and I'll be able to do it on a more regular basis. That would put him in that bracket, and that's what I want him to. I want to see. Like, the difference is very, very, very little. And with Saka's, like, the way he's progressing, I'm pretty sure he'll be able to catch up very easily.
Okay, I was thinking of talking a little bit about the penalty incident, but I think like we'll talk all the controversies or all the controversial decisions a little bit later. Before that, let's finish the game and the goals. So the second goal, Arun, right? Like halftime, we make substitutions. We go in halftime. As a fan, I was feeling like, yeah, we could draw this. I did not feel that we are gonna lose this game. I did not feel that we might win this game, but I was very confident that we could draw this. And then right on time, we made the substitutions. I was a little bit on the edge because it was Zinchenko coming in. I was on the mind like, okay, take out Kiviar, bring in Tomiyasu, right? But then like Zinchenko came in. I don't think he had a great game. But then like the next two substitutions, that's bringing in
Zinchenko had a pretty good game. He changed everything for us.
Okay.
He actually changed the game for us. Like, without Zinchenko, we would have struggled to do what we did. Like, the way in which he came and he started, because we were struggling to break that mid block. We couldn't do anything. Zinchenko came in and started playing the balls to the midfield, which also helped because Odegaard did not have to drop as deep anymore. And Zinchenko changed the game. I don't know. Like, I mean, he had missed passes, yeah, for sure. But Zinchenko's presence like gave that fear to Bayern that they cannot like keep pushing forward. So I don't know. Zinchenko for me had a good game. I don't know, Deepak, what do you say?
He had an average game. Like, yeah, he did change the situation where, like, he helped Odegaard, but I wouldn't say he had a good game. He still had that defensive things which
No, but
Bayern could have punished.
that's something that you always expect from him,
See
right?
that
Like, you know,
I
he's
think
not a left
I
back.
think the complaint regarding Zinchenko in this game, I can see both sides. Like I think the complaint regarding this game, like especially when I look at it right now, is like because we are replacing Kivior for defensive stability, right? Like that's the idea that every fan had in their mind. Like bringing in Tomiyasu is going to increase the defensive stability. But what you say is true. He did not increase the
Because
defensive
we
stability.
needed a goal. We needed a goal at that point. Like 2-1 or 3-1 at that point wouldn't have made any difference. Like, yeah, we would have to chase an extra goal. But then it's not like Bayern getting 3 goals means that we would have to score 4 goals. That away goals rule is. So we had to throw the kitchen sink and we had to bring in players who could help us get a goal. And Zinchenko came in and did his part over there. So that's how I see it. So the fact that we don't have away goals means that we can take more risks when we are a goal down. And teams do not have to really think about like the number of goals that they are going to score or concede away from him.
This,
So we are
ladies and
going
gentlemen, is why we have Arun in our group, because because I was completely going on in another way. I did not expect to think of it this way, and now I'm like, now that you've put it into words, and I can see it. Yes, this is a logical decision, and this is the right decision to make, and it did make an impact in the game. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
because like if you really think about it, we are going to the Alliance Arena at 0-0. We are not going in with anything. We are going at 0. It's a clean slate. Go in there and get the goal, defend with your lives like you did against City, and we are winning that game. Nobody's going to talk about 2-2. That 2-2 would be immaterial at that point. So even right now, so if you want to get a goal, get the best option in. And that's why I like this new format. I like the fact that the away goals rule has been scrapped off. It's giving us so much of entertainment. It is giving
If
no
away
team
goals
is
has been there, that the away team is just going to sit back and it's going to be a
exactly
dull 0-0,
yeah.
and Atletico Madrid will go to finals every time.
Like there were 18 goals scored in the quarterfinals. Like when was the last time we saw this happen? And it's the games. If you look at the teams, it's Madrid, City, Arsenal, Bayern, and none of these are duds.
Yeah.
So this is like the best thing that has happened to the Champions League in a long time.
Next, they should like scrape the extra time as well. It's useless.
Continuing on the discussion, right? Like the second goal. I mean, we have talked about Trossard a lot, but still that guy always steps up when the time is right, right? He was not our first choice to sign, but from the moment he has come in, I think this season he's the second highest goal contributor after Saka in the team. I think that's the stat. I mean, Arun, I'll start with you. That second goal, yeah, Jesus plays like brilliantly in the box. He does all those like, fancy footwork. But the finish from Trossard, if there was one person in the team who I trust with that finish, it's Trossard. Right?
He's the best finisher in the team. Yeah. Easily.
And
it's
like,
a curious case with Trossard, right? When you start him in games, like he struggles. When you give him like 20 or 30 minutes to make a difference, he knows that he has that very specific time period and he tries to do as much as possible to make a difference in that specific time period. So like, I mean, like for what we bought him for, it's unbelievable returns that we are getting. And at his age too, like 28, 29, when you think that, like after that point, for someone who is not physically strong, for someone who is not fast, you start thinking that like, his abilities would start going down. But he's been the difference maker. But that goal was like absolutely brilliant. That ball from it started with the ball from, I don't remember who, but like, and then Jesus doing what he does with, that's where we missed the experience of someone like Jesus inside the box. Before that, like we were never able to get through into the box. And then he comes in and he takes like 4 defenders out, leaving clear path for Leo to score the goal. Very, very, I had a feeling the goal was coming and good. It was a very good goal. From then on, I thought we would win the game, but I was disappointed.
I mean, from then on, yes, I thought we would win the game, but also like when Bayern went the other way and they hit the post, I had every inclination that this is going in. But I mean, I look at it now and they are saying that it could have been like offside and stuff like that in the build-up. But during that time, I was very pissed off. But the biggest standing point is like I felt that referee had a decent game, but there are some decisions in the game that I felt were iffy to maybe I don't know. I'm confused at this point. First decision is that I think that Kane should have gotten a red card for that elbow. It is a very, 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 very Kane thing to do, and he does that purposefully, right? Like getting into the defenders, pushing them. Like we've been talking, even when he was in Premier League, he used to do this, like where he bends down when the defender jumps, so that they
he
get
backs into
yeah.
the defender and the defender falls. Yeah.
So
Yeah, it should have been a red, obviously. Yeah, it's Arsenal fans, we would say it's red. For me, it's a red as well. He clearly tried to elbow Gabriel. Not tried, he elbowed Gabriel.
Gabriel, yeah.
Yeah.
And he always seems to and he always seems to get away with this, right? Like, and we have talked about this a lot, and we will talk about this a lot. But I think that is something that for at this point in time, all the referees should see it, right? Like they should, like when we say, oh, Saka has this reputation of falling down, or someone else has a reputation of this, a reputation of that. Why is there not a reputation of Harry Kane doing this? Why is there no referee goes into a game?
Because he's not significant enough.
I can say a few things, might be controversial, so I'll keep my mouth shut. I won't say anything. There's a lot of things that I want to say, but I'll try to.
I mean, no, you can say. I mean, we run on controversies, right? That's what the whole podcast.
He's English captain. It's the color of his skin. Two things, absolutely. He's the poster boy. He's the nice guy. Like the simple analogy is like when Saka scores a goal, everybody talks about it. Like, why did he not score a second goal, sort of a thing. When Saka doesn't score a goal, everybody talks about it. When Cole Palmer scores a goal, when Foden scores a goal, everybody wants to call Saka out. When Kane drops a stinker, nobody talks about it. There's like a whole lot of difference. It's very racist. Nobody wants to accept it. Like, people have their biases. We have our biases. You have your biases. I have my biases. Nobody wants to accept it. And that's it. Like, Kane is the poster boy. No one will say anything wrong or bad about him. And that will keep continuing. He's the captain. And he gets the captain tax. He gets the captain tax.
More than Saka, there is one poor player who always gets on the bad side, which is Sterling. He has faced a lot of this. More than Saka. If you have seen that Sun newspaper, I have seen multiple instances.
True. Well, that is something that it always gets me, that Kane gets away with all these things, and somehow, like, I also feel Son gets away with that too. Like, and it could be a Spurs bias that I might have, but they are dirty players, and they seem to be hiding under the guise of the good guys, which I don't think is the actual truth. But the other instance, like for all Bayern fans who are raising it, right? Like where Raya after whistles and then Gabriel touches the ball.
A stupid mistake. That's a penalty for sure.
I mean,
yeah, it's a penalty.
See, the thing is, for me, yes, it is a penalty by book of law.
By law, yeah.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that is not consistent across the game, right? Like we have, when we say, oh, Hector Bellerin had all those like foul throws, I've seen a lot of other players do it on weekly basis. Like Premier League, if you watch Premier League in a week, you would see a lot of foul throws that are not given, right? There are some parts of the game that people like are allowed to make mistake, and I think this is one of those places.
This is, I don't think so. It's a clear penalty. If it had happened against us, right, we would have been shouting from the roof that it's a penalty. So absolutely. I think we have to accept that it was, I don't know what Gabriel was thinking. If it had been some other referee, I think referee, he had a decent game. I think he took the whole situation into, I think that's the explanation he gave, like a kid's mistake, which is another stupid thing to say. It's a mistake, it's a penalty. But for me, it's a penalty. Maybe that played a part in his mind when he wanted to give Saka a penalty, that he thought, oh, Bayern should have had a penalty. Now Arsenal is asking, maybe he didn't give that. So yeah, I think for me, I wouldn't say it's not. I wouldn't justify by giving some explanation that it's not a penalty. For me, it's a penalty.
What about the Saka incident? Was that a penalty or no?
Yeah, that was a penalty.
Yeah, it's a penalty. Yeah.
Penalty.
If we are going by the book of law, it's a penalty.
It's a penalty.
We can say like Saka was trying to get a penalty or not. Of course, yeah, he was trying to get a penalty. Why wouldn't he? If Kane had done this, right, you would know like how people would have been talking.
Intelligence.
Oh,
They would say
brilliant
that's
play.
intelligence.
Intelligence from the England captain to win a penalty. So yeah, it is a penalty. Maybe like I said, it played in the referee's mind that I should have given a Bayern a penalty. So let me like chop it both off and go to Allianz Arena and fight it out.
I think more than the penalty or not decision regarding that, right? Like I think for me personally, because I'm used to Premier League, right? Like when there is a VAR check, it takes a long time for us to like get a result from it, right? And that gives like, replays and all those things. Somehow that is not happening across Champions League. If you guys notice, Champions League VAR is like that. Like you go in, it's like, oh yeah, the check's complete. Like it's so quick. Maybe that plays a part in my mind. I don't know about you guys. Is that why? Also, it's the end of the game. So I think that's the cause of all the outrage. Yes, it is a penalty, but we have seen it not given. And yes, it is a wrong thing to do. But the amount of outrage right now out there regarding that penalty decision, I think is a little bit overboard. Arun?
Yeah, we're making it seem as if like, I feel that Arsenal fans love playing the victim card, which sort of has become a part of our mentality. And I would love for that to change. With this season, we've seen like a lot of teams getting wrong decisions. And yeah, previous seasons, we got decisions that were against us, with a lot of other teams getting the right decisions in their favor. But now things have changed. But even now, we love playing that card of saying that we are the only ones at the end of bad decisions. It's a systemic problem. We don't want to see it as a systemic problem. We want to see it as something that's only against us. So we are winning now. We are getting to a stage where we are able to win games, and we should be able to win games irrespective of the decisions like this. Like a team like a Bournemouth or a team like a Luton Town have more to cry about, but they don't make the same noise that we make. So for as much as we want the system to change, we should also think about the fact that we are like complaining too much about it, and we shouldn't be. We are always talking about the Saka penalty, but we are not saying anything about the Gabriel incident. That's the narrative so far. That's what we are trying to build. Well, like if you want to be objective, talk about that as well. Right now it's just like, let's see how they change the system, and until they change that, these things are going to keep happening.
Okay.
So semi-automated thing is coming into Premier League next season. Oh yeah.
At least that would prevent
stop
like
with that shitty line drawing.
Yeah.
I mean, like that should stop Ten Hag from complaining about things that happened 7 years ago. Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we'll leave it at that for that game. But like one last question, right? Like now 2-2 going into the Allianz Arena. It is going to be a difficult game, but it is like a knockout tournament, right? Like right now, this is the knockout game. Like you win that game, you go through. You don't win that game, you're out, right? Like that's it. There is no two ways about this game. How are you both feeling about that?
I think it would be probably a draw in that game, and I don't know what's going to happen after that.
Bayern are not unbeatable. They lost to I don't even know the team's name, Sakenbrücken or something, recently at home. So beating them at home is not difficult, but knowing that the Champions League is the only thing that they have to play for, their fans would be like rabid, and it's going to be like a test of mentality more than your ability. That's what I feel the second leg is going to be. It's going to be a lot of big test of your mentality. So like Deepak said, I think we can get a draw there for sure. Winning would require like a lot of concentration and availability of the best players that we have. But a draw should be possible. But anything beyond that, if it goes to pens, I would favor them more over us because of the fact that they have Neuer. And, like having that sort of a goalkeeper would make a huge difference. And as much as we want to say that they won't be having Labri or they won't be having like, who else are they going to miss? I think they are going to miss someone else
Alfonso
too.
Davis. It's
Alfonso
suspended.
Davis. They
Yeah.
have Rafael Guerrero, who's more than competent wing back if Tuchel wants to play three at the back, which I believe he would. And they did not play Muller for even a minute during our game, and still they have the ghost. So we're like singing praises about Havertz, but then like Muller is sort of like the goat in that region, So like, for me, it's going to be a tough game, but it's not going to be like as impossible. Not because of where Bayern are, but because of where we are. This team is giving us the confidence that we can get something from there. So
If you see, like, statistically, we have been playing well in away game.
Yeah.
So that also might play a factor into this. So hopefully, we go through and hope we face Madrid, not City again. Please.
So,
I'm tired
yeah,
of those games.
that's where I'm getting it, right? Like City went to Madrid and they got a 3-3 draw. Do you think Madrid could come to Etihad and get the result?
No. City is complete.
I don't
The
know.
only team probably might get a result out of Etihad in a Champions League is City. Sorry, Madrid.
Madrid,
So
yeah.
probably they might, but I think City still have that quality. I think they have figured out Champions League by now, slowly. So I think it might be tough for Madrid to get a result, but yeah, like I said, the only team capable of getting a result, that Champions League juju or something, what they say, it's stuck with Madrid, right? So probably, Madrid might win, but I still feel that City might qualify.
Around the other side of the draw, right? Like Barcelona and PSG. Barcelona went to PSG and they won. I mean, when I look at the score sheet, I'm just going like, really? This guy is playing this guy? Right? I don't follow Barcelona right now because I don't know. It doesn't feel that great to follow them at this moment. They are not the Barcelona of old, right? But like, I mean, I get Dembele, but then like you see Christiansen is there among goal, and like Rafinha is scoring goal. I mean, what is happening? Are Barcelona?
I honestly had zero expectations for Barcelona from that game. I thought like these guys would win for sure. PSG would win for sure. They're playing at home. Barcelona is in disarray. They played a 16-year-old at centre back or something. Like, how many teams dare to do that? Like, and they managed to win the game. It goes to show how shitty PSG have been and how bad they have been at building their squad. Like it makes zero sense the way in which they built their squad. And in spite of all this, the best that I think they've been able to get to is the finalist of the Champions League, right? Once. So like it makes zero sense. Like that game shouldn't have ended 3-2. Like when Rafinha scored that goal, I seriously thought something was wrong. I was like, okay, it's going to get disallowed or something. That's how easy it was. Pedri put the ball in and it was easy for Rafinha. I wasn't expecting that at all. I mean, I don't know what would fix PSG. I really don't know what would fix PSG.
Barcelona, if they win this tie, they are going to finals for sure.
Yeah. Oh no, I wouldn't say that. Atletico were amazing against Dortmund. Atletico were absolutely amazing.
Atletico has lost thrice against Barcelona this season. Every time they have lost. Again, in home, in away, every tie they have lost against Barcelona. So I'm pretty sure Barcelona knows how to beat Atletico. So they might get to finals for sure if they win this tie. Because you might never know like what Mbappe, he was pretty shitty in this game, but he's a world-class player. He might turn up in the second leg and he might score goals. So this tie is still open. Every tie is still open. No one knows what is going to happen. Even Dortmund, they were shitty against Atletico for the 80 minutes, and they scored one goal and they could have drawn this game. And you know how Dortmund's home ties are. Their atmosphere is too good. But the only team who can stop from all this atmosphere nonsense is Atletico. They can just park the bus for like 1,000 minutes and not concede a goal.
Yes, that is true. So yeah, like this has been good. Champions League knockout. I think what Arun said is true, right? Like removing the away goal rule has opened up teams. Like I don't think City would have gone to Madrid and tried on getting those 3 goals if it had that away goal, or like Madrid wouldn't have allowed City to do that if it was like the away goal rule was there, or like Bayern wouldn't have come here like that if the away goal rule was there. So it is a good thing, and it's pretty good competition to be back and to be like to see all this. And like I always say, I never dared look up as an Arsenal fan. I never looked up, as in like I never looked at Champions League competition, what's happening apart from the finals and the semi-finals where I follow it, but never looked up and had the hope that like okay, had the not even hope, the heart to follow some team and be part of the conversation and be part of like putting your heart out there. But right now we are here, and I'm so happy to be part of this. I'm like the kid who's literally sitting there in the like in the table of adults and like being happy about being in the conversation with adults. That's how I feel about it right now. But I wish we could stay in this table longer, because Arsenal as a football club should be in this table, like should be in the Champions League table, should be in this like knockout stages. That's what I feel about it. And yeah, may this all continue forever. Anyway, thank you guys. That was great. And for everyone who's listening still, please do like, share, comment, subscribe, and share it with your friends. And if you want to be part of it, and we keep saying that every episode because we genuinely want people to come in and have this conversation, because this has been amazing. This is something that as an Arsenal fan we are privileged to be part of, and I want more people to come in and voice their opinion and all those things. So anyways, thanks Arun, thanks Deepak. Talk to you after the Aston Villa game. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.